Do you feel like you don't speak enough Finnish? That you need to know more words? Then stick around. With these lessons, you'll pick up some of the most common words in just a few minutes. Now, this video is a small portion of our learning program. To get the full lessons, translations, and Fluency Fast study tools, click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account. You've decided to study a new language, so now what? Well, you want to become fluent fast, right? Here are the top 5 shortcuts to learning a language. Number 1. Create a study schedule and set some goals. Many language learners are unorganized. Creating a schedule allows you to free up time to study consistently. Goals give you motivation and something to strive for. Number 2. Make it fun. If you learn how to make your study time enjoyable, chances are you'll be more inclined to study. Watch a TV show with subtitles or listen to some music. Number 3. Find a language partner. This is the best way to improve your conversation skills. It will help you gain fluency even faster and increase confidence when speaking. Number 4. Use word lists to build up a solid vocabulary. This is a great way to build up your fluency, one word at a time. Luckily, we have all the word lists you need, with a range of topics, from food to love. Choose whichever language you want to study and go. Number 5. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Nothing helps you improve more than correcting your own errors. You're more likely to remember it correctly the next time around. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't be afraid to learn from them. There's no magical way to learn a new language overnight, but doing all of these can really help your learning process. And remember, if you're interested in getting on the fast track to fluency, sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. Start learning now. Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1. Shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the dialogue study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye! Speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye! Speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye! Speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the...
Hey, minun nimeni on Paula. Hi everybody, I'm Paula. Welcome to FinishPod101.com's Suomea 3 minuutissa, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Finnish. In the last lesson, we learned how to use the verb tulla. Now we will start our lessons dedicated to question words in Finnish. The first one we will be looking at is probably the most common question, what? In Finnish, there are 2 equivalents for this word, mitä and mikä. The first thing to remember about question words is that they always begin the sentence. So how would you ask your friend what he is doing? Do you still remember the to-do verb from the earlier lesson? The question would be, mitä sinä teet? Mitä sinä teet? Let's break it down. Mitä is what in Finnish. Sinä, as I'm sure you already remember, means you. And as we learned from lesson 18, teet is the conjugated form of the verb tehdä, to do. So altogether it is, mitä sinä teet? What are you doing? Now you can make other questions like that using the word mitä. Like if you want to ask, what are you watching? In Finnish that would be, mitä sinä katsot? Mitä is also used in this very common question. What time is it? In Finnish you would ask, mitä kello on? If you translate it literally, it would be, what is the clock? But then how do you use the other word for what? Mikä. Let's see a few examples. So your friend is watching the TV and you want to know what he is watching. Earlier we had the example sentence, mitä sinä katsot? That would translate simply as, what are you watching? But if you want to ask more specifically, what program is that? You would use mikä. Mikä ohjelma tuo on? Also, when you see a specific object you are not familiar with and you want to ask, what is this? You would say, mikä tämä on, instead of mitä tämä on. Mikä is also used in one of the key questions when meeting a new person. Mikä sinun nimesi on? What is your name? Do you still remember how to answer this question? We learned all about it in lesson 1. Now it's time for Paula's points. Do you already know how to ask someone how they are doing in Finnish? You will have to use the question word we just learned. Mitä kuuluu? This literally means what can be heard, although it's used to ask how you are feeling, like what's going on in English. So instead of getting confused and starting to describe what you hear, just answer, hyvä kiitos. Good, thank you. Now you know how to ask questions with the word for what. Don't worry if you get mixed up when to use mikä or mitä. You will be understood for sure, and eventually you will have no problems with it. In the next lesson, we will talk about how to make where questions. Do you know it already? I can promise it's just as easy as what. I'll be waiting for you in the next Suomea 3 minuutissa lesson. Nähdään pian! Hey, minun nimeni on Paula. Hi everybody, I'm Paula. Welcome to FinishPod101.com's Suomea 3 minuutissa, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Finnish. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask the question what in Finnish. This time, we are going to ask when questions. In Finnish, there are a few different words for this. They are missä, minne, and mihin. Basically, missä is used to ask where something or someone is at the moment, whereas minne and mihin ask where someone is going. Let's have a look at these using some simple examples. Here's a good question you might hear and use a lot. Let's say you're calling your friend and you want to know where she is. What do you say? Missä sinä olet? Where are you? Missä sinä olet? So let's break down this question. First we had missä, which is where, as we already learned. And sinä olet is simply you are, like we have learned in earlier lessons. So this one was really easy, right? Minne and mihin have the same meaning, which in English could be put as where to. In these questions, you can use either one of them. It doesn't make a difference. In these examples, I'll use the word minne, but it could be replaced by mihin just as easily. So let's look at some questions that feature minne. If you want to ask where you are going with your friends, you would just say, minne me menemme. Where are we going? Minne me menemme. You might remember the verb mennä from one of our previous lessons. When you want to ask where someone is from, there is one more question word to remember in Finnish. Mistä? Mistä sinä olet kotoisin? Where are you from? Mistä sinä olet kotoisin? We practiced this one back in lesson 11. Do you remember? Now it's time for Paula's points. In addition to these question words we are learning now, there is another way to spot a question. It's the ending ko, which can be added to almost any word to make it a simple question. For example, if you want to make the statement, you drive a car into a question, you would ask, do you drive a car, right? In Finnish, the statement would be, sinä ajat autoa. And when made into a question with the ending ko, it would be, ajatko sinä autoa? You can put the ending on the word you want to emphasize, but remember the question word must come first. Therefore, if you want to emphasize the word you, as in, is it really you who is driving the car, you would change it to, sinäkö ajat autoa? Or if the ultimate question is that, is it really a car that you are driving, you would say, autoako sinä ajat? In this lesson, we learned the many different Finnish forms of the word where. Next time, we will keep asking questions. We'll be moving on to the word when in Finnish. Have you already guessed that it's also short and starts with the letter M? You'll find out if you're right in the next Suomea 3 minuutissa lesson. Nähdään pian! Hey, minun nimeni on Paula. Hi everybody, I'm Paula. Welcome to FinishPod101.com's Suomea 3 minuutissa, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Finnish. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask the question where in Finnish. This time, we're going to make when questions. Let's go! Aloitetaan! So let's imagine your friend is planning to visit your place and you would like to know when he is coming. You could ask him, milloin sinä tulet käymään? When will you come and visit? Milloin sinä tulet käymään? Let's break down this answer. First we had milloin, which is the question word when in Finnish. Sinä means you. Tulet käymään is the conjugated form of tulla käymään, which means to come and visit. You still remember the verb tulla from an earlier lesson, right? So altogether it's milloin sinä tulet käymään? When will you come and visit? So the basic translation for when would be milloin in Finnish. Like if you want to ask, when were you born? It would be milloin sinä olet syntynyt? Remember to always place the question word first in the sentence. There are also more specific ways to ask the question when. The same as in English, milloin can be a somewhat vague question. If you want to know something more exactly, you could ask mihin aikaan, which would be translated as at what time. For example, if you want to know at what time the train is leaving, you would ask mihin aikaan juna lähtee? At what time is the train leaving? Mihin aikaan juna lähtee? Juna is the Finnish word for train, and lähtee the conjugated form of the verb lähteä, meaning to leave. Another one with the same meaning as mihin aikaan would be monelta. Literally, it means at how many, so you can think of it as meaning at how many hours. Do you still remember the ending ko to indicate a question that we learned in the last lesson? It can often be added so it turns out as moneltako. So let's say you are going to a concert, but you're not sure at what time it starts. You could ask, moneltako se konsertti alkaa, which would translate as, at what time is that concert starting? If you want to ask a question about duration, such as, for how long have you been in Finland? You would say, miten kauan olet ollut Suomessa? So the expression, for how long, would be miten kauan or kuinka kauan, which means the same thing. Now let's say you want to meet a friend. How would you ask, when will we meet, in Finnish? You can actually use any of the question words milloin, mihin aikaan, or monelta to start with. For example, milloin me tapaamme? You start off with the question word milloin, then me, which means we. Here's a new verb, tavata, to meet. When conjugated with me, it becomes tapaamme. Milloin me tapaamme? When will we meet? If you want to be more specific about the year, month, or weekday, there is a slightly different way to ask. What year would be minä vuonna? For example, in the sentence, what year did you graduate? In Finnish, you would ask, minä vuonna sinä valmistuit? Or if you want to know about the month, it would be missä kuussa? Like in the sentence, which month were you born in? Missä kuussa sinä olet syntynyt? If you want to ask a friend on what day she is free, you would use the expression minä päivänä? Minä päivänä sinä olet vapaa? Now it's time for Paula's points. You probably remember the word for me is minä in Finnish. Were you wondering why it was used in the questions minä vuonna and minä päivänä? Actually, minä is also a conjugated form of the question word mikä, meaning what. So now we have learned how to correctly use the words for when. In the next lesson, we'll learn more about asking questions with who in Finnish. I'll be waiting for you in the next Suomea 3 minuutissa lesson. Nähdään pian! Hey, minun nimeni on Paula. Hi everybody, I'm Paula. Welcome to FinishPod101.com Suomea 3 minuutissa, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Finnish. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask when questions in Finnish. This time, we're going to ask questions with the Finnish word for who, kuka. Imagine you're in class and there seems to be a new classmate. You ask your friend, kuka hän on? Who is she? Kuka hän on? So let's break down this question. First we had kuka, which is the basic question word for who in Finnish. Hän is the pronoun for he or she. As there is no gender used in the Finnish language, it can mean either. On is the conjugated form of the verb olla, to be, which we already learned in a previous lesson. Altogether, it is kuka hän on. So in Finnish, who is mainly translated as kuka. However, this can only be used in the singular, and in plural, it usually gets the form ketkä or keitä. For example, if you're browsing a photo album and want to ask who the people are, you would ask, keitä nämä ovat? Who are these? The question word kuka also conjugates in all different cases, both in the plural and the singular. In this lesson, we'll take a look at the most commonly used ones. Kuka only works for people, so you can't use it to ask about objects. When talking about animals, you usually use mikä. However, kuka is sometimes used when talking about a loved pet. Kuka can also be used to ask who did something. For example, kuka ohjasi tämän elokuvan? This means, who directed this movie? Another form of kuka that's used when you want to know who owns something is kenen. In this case, the meaning is whose. So if you want to ask, whose cell phone is this? You will have to say, kenen kännykkä tämä on? If we break down this question, it is kenen, which is whose, kännykkä, which is cell phone, and then we have tämä, which simply means this. And finally, on, which is the conjugated form of the verb olla, to be. If you thought the item might be owned by more than just one person, you would use the plural. In this case, the plural of kenen is keiden. Another commonly used conjugation of kuka is kenelle, which means for whom. So if you want to know for whom is this letter, you'd ask, kenelle tämä kirje on? Or if it is for more than one person, keille tämä kirje on? And if you wanted to find out from whom the letter is, the question word changes into keneltä tämä kirje on? Or in the plural, if the letter had been written by more than one person, keiltä tämä kirje on? Now it's time for Paula's points. This is a useful sentence to remember. You get a knock on your door and you want to know who it is. You can simply ask, kuka siellä, which directly translated would mean, who is there? Also, if you get a phone call and the caller forgets to introduce himself, you can politely ask, anteeksi, kuka siellä on? Excuse me, who is this? In this lesson, we learned how to correctly use the word for who, kuka, and also some of its common conjugations. The next lesson will be our last of this absolute beginner series. We will deal with the last question word, miksi. Do you already know what it means? If not, you'll find out in the next Suomea 3 minuutissa lesson. Nähdään pian! Hey, minun nimeni on Paula. Hi everybody, I'm Paula. Welcome to FinishPod101.com's Suomea 3 minuutissa, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Finnish. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask questions with who in Finnish. In this last lesson, we are going to ask why questions. So imagine it's already midnight, you can't sleep, and you decide to call your friend. He will probably want to know why you are still awake and ask you, miksi sinä olet vielä hereillä? Why are you still awake? Miksi sinä olet vielä hereillä? So let's break down this question. First we had miksi, which is the basic question word why in Finnish. Sinä, as I'm sure you already know, is you. Olet is the conjugated form of olla, to be. Vielä means still, and hereillä, used together with the verb olla, means to be awake. Altogether, it is miksi sinä olet vielä hereillä? Why are you still awake? So in Finnish, miksi is the translation for why, and it's used to ask the reason for something. For example, if you skipped school, your teacher would ask, why were you absent? In Finnish, that would be, miksi olit poissa koulusta? Olla poissa basically means to be away, and koulusta is from school. Here, your teacher uses why in order to get an explanation. Let's look at some other uses for miksi. If your friend has a strong opinion about an issue and you want to know why, you could ask, miksi olet sitä mieltä? Why do you think so? Miksi olet sitä mieltä? Or if you're upset about unpleasant things always happening to you, you can say with a sigh, miksi aina minä? Why always me? Miksi aina minä? If you want to avoid giving a long explanation or simply don't know the reason, you can answer, minä en tiedä miksi. I don't know why. Now it's time for Paula's points. How about if you want to make it a negative, why not? The direct translation would be miksi ei, but because Finns love to make words shorter and easier, it becomes miksei. This is a really commonly used expression. For example, after a long winter, people start complaining, miksei kevät jo tule? Why won't spring already come? And as we learned in lesson 14, the word ei also conjugates. So if you want to know, why don't you like him? It would turn into mikset sinä pidä hänestä. As in English, why not can also have a positive meaning. For example, if you're invited to a party and after a moment of thinking you respond, sure, why not? In the same way, in Finnish you can just answer miksei. This lesson is the last of this absolute beginner video series. Hopefully you will continue learning Finnish from here on too. To take your language ability to the next level, check out finishpod101.com, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Finnish. Nähdään taas!
Hey everyone! Welcome to your monthly review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, new study tools, resources, and where we show off learners like you speaking the language. That is, if you're brave enough to participate and become language learning famous. All the materials mentioned in this video are available for you right now on our website. Click the link in the description to sign up for your free lifetime account and start speaking in minutes. Okay, today's topic is why your worst days are the best days to study. So, have you ever had a day where you planned on learning language and you just couldn't go through with it? Even if learning a new language is your personal goal, something that you really want? Well, today you're going to learn 1. Why these bad days happen, and 2. Why you'll get your best work done on your worst days. Let's start. Why bad days happen with language learning. When I say bad days, I don't mean when you're too busy or when life gets in the way. These things are unavoidable. I mean days when you're just not in the mood. It's a perfectly good day, the sun is shining, no bad news, but you just can't get yourself to study. You're just wasting the day. So here's why they happen. First, it's the law of diminishing returns in action. What does this mean? Think of it as eating pizza every day for 5 days a week. On the first day, the first 2 slices are great, but by the third one, you're feeling queasy. It's not as good. And by the 5th day, you're sick of pizza. That's the law of diminishing returns, when the benefits start decreasing over time. And it happens with language learning. When you first start, you learn a lot of phrases and it feels good. You're excited. But as time goes on, you don't feel like you're learning much. And this affects your mood and motivation. So you're not as excited to learn anymore. So you start having bad days. Second, bad days happen because you overthink things and ruin it for yourself. It's like dreading going to the gym. Let's say you went yesterday. You have to go again today. So you're dreading it all day long. I gotta go again. You set yourself up for a bad mood and a bad day. Third, bad days are a natural part of the cycle. Some days will be good. Most days you'll feel indifferent. Some days will be bad. But that's completely natural, and anyone with long-term projects and goals feels the same. And fourth, you can't be on 100% of the time. So just like days can't always be good, you too can't always be on and ready to go all the time. Again, just a realistic and expected part of the journey. Now, let's jump into the second part. Why you'll get your best work done on your worst days. So, why will you get your best work done? First, it's not that bad once you start. Once you've spent 10 or 15 minutes learning a language, it's not so bad. People say the same thing about the gym. If you show up and put in a bit of time, it gets easier. Second, it's overcoming a mental barrier. What I mean is, when most of us have bad days, our brain automatically says, okay, can't be done today. Stop, we're done. But if you just work through it, you don't take these bad days so seriously anymore. And that means you're more likely to stick with your language learning goal. This brings us to the next point. Third, it's your best work because working on a bad day only strengthens your habit of language learning. Remember, habits are what will help you master a language over time. If you can stick to a habit on a bad day, your habit only gets stronger, and it will lead you to fluency. And finally, fourth, it just feels good to overcome something. Imagine you have a bad day, but you still put in 10 minutes of language learning. It's a real sense of achievement. And it doesn't matter if you do a 10-minute lesson or a 5-minute lesson. The fact that you made some progress on a bad day will give you the motivation you need to keep going. Now, speaking of lessons, here are this month's new lessons and resources. First, the Best of 2018 Language Learning Cheat Sheets. If you want to get access to all of our conversation cheat sheets that we sent out this year, here's your chance. Download this PDF bundle right now. Next, the brand new Supermarket Cheat Sheet. With this cheat sheet, you'll learn must-know shopping phrases and vocab for meats, vegetables, and all products that you'll find in a supermarket. And finally, the most common adjectives. If you're a beginner and don't yet know these adjectives, then this is a perfect chance to boost your vocabulary. This 1-minute lesson will get them stuck in your head, guaranteed. To get these free lessons and resources, just click the link in the description below. All right, everyone. Now we're asking you to submit a video or audio file of yourself speaking the language. If you do, you'll win 3 free months of access to our learning program, which includes your very own teacher. Here's the challenge for you. Yes, everyone watching this. Record a 30-second to 1-minute video or audio clip. Introduce yourself in the language. Share your name, where you're from, and why you're studying this language. And you'll win a 3-month Premium Plus subscription. To submit, click on the link in the description. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Then, fill out the form. Attach the audio or video file, and press submit. We may feature you in next month's episode, so a lot of learners will see you and your progress, and will hopefully get inspired to improve and master the language. To submit a recording, click the link in the description and follow the instructions on the page. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how to set achievable language learning goals and resolutions. In the meantime, submit your recording if you're brave. Like and share this video, and leave a comment to tell us what language learning tactics you'd like us to talk about. See you next time. Bye! You probably already have language learning goals, but the real key to success is to make the right goals. In this video, I'll show you how, with 5 tips to stop wasting your time and start learning. Hi everyone, Alicia here. In this video, I'll teach you 5 tips to stop procrastinating and keep your motivation for learning a new language. Some of these are study methods, and some will be general ways that you can keep your study motivation up. While these tips are for studying a language, some of them are good for other things in your life too, such as new challenges or other types of goals. But before we start, don't forget to click the link in the description to get your bundle of PDF cheat sheets, including survival phrases, romantic lines, learning tips, absolutely free. Now, you probably already have some goals you're trying to achieve when it comes to your language learning progress. While achieving these goals is important, making sure you make the right goals is the real key to success. The very first tip is to set SMART goals. SMART is an acronym, meaning each letter in the word stands for another word. The earliest known reference to SMART goals was in an article written by George T. Doran for a 1981 issue of the Management Review Academic Journal. The acronym varies depending on its use, but each letter generally stands for some criterion that helps with effective goal setting. For our purposes, let's define SMART goals as follows. The S stands for specific. Your goals should target a specific area for improvement. Our natural tendency is to have a goal that's very general. If your goal isn't specific enough, you'll lack the focus and proper direction you need to achieve your goals. So S is for specific. M stands for measurable. Your goals should be quantifiable. They should be able to indicate progress in some way. You have to be able to track your progress, otherwise you won't know if you're getting any closer to your goal. As you see yourself getting closer and closer to your goal, your motivation will go up. So your goals need to be measurable. A stands for achievable. Your goals have to be achievable. Many people want to become fluent in their target language immediately. However, this goal is unrealistic. Your goals have to be achievable. If your goal is too challenging for your current level, It will only demotivate you when you aren't where you think you should be. Instead, think about what results can realistically be achieved given your level, your resources, and any constraints, such as time. So make sure that your goal is actually achievable. R stands for relevant. Your goals may be specific, they may be measurable, and they may be achievable, but are they actually relevant to what you want to achieve? Don't just do a lot of things. If you're focused on improving your speaking skills in your target language, make sure that you spend your time having conversations with others. Make sure you're doing the right things so that your efforts actually bring you closer to your goal instead of just giving you more work. T stands for timely. You need to set a deadline for your goals. If you don't specify when you plan to achieve the result you've set for yourself, it's very easy to put off the task. You can delay it until tomorrow, the next week, or the next month, and at this rate, you'll never get things done. So your goal must have an end date. So remember, tip number 1 is to set SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So, for example, a goal you could make is registering for a challenging test, a test that's a little bit beyond your current level. I hate failing, so if I register for a challenging test, I'm motivated to study because I don't want to fail. This is a good example of a SMART goal because tests are specific. There are tons of different tests focused on speaking, grammar, and comprehension. Pick a test that can measure the specific area in which you'd like to grow. Measurable. Tests are measurable. Every test measures your performance to some degree. Whether it's a total count of right and wrong answers or a simple pass or fail, every test measures your performance. Tests are achievable. There's an important detail to remember here, though. Find a test that is achievable for you. If you're a beginner, then the most advanced test is probably not right for you. Find one that's meant for beginners. Then, after that one, work your way up to more advanced tests in the future. Tests are relevant. Most, if not all, language tests are designed to ensure that you're capable of performing to a set standard in your target language. Lower-level tests are designed to ensure that you can handle the most essential aspects of your target language. But there are tests for all levels, including higher education entry exams that could be difficult, even for native speakers. Pick the one that's right for you. And finally, tests are timely. If your test is completed in a physical location, then this one is obvious. You have to be at that spot at the set time, ready to take the test. There's no wiggle room. But even online tests will most likely have a deadline for you to complete them. The second tip to help you stop procrastinating and to keep your motivation up is to create a diary or social media account that you can update every day. This may seem simple or even unrelated to language learning, but by creating a diary in your target language, you have the chance to actually create in the language itself. Creating a diary is also a great way to practice writing in your target language. Another method is to create a social media account, which gives you the chance to connect with other people who are working toward the same goals as you. Maybe they can even give you feedback on your writing. If you're following people online who regularly share good resources, those can be really helpful for you too. It lets you find new tools that can encourage and motivate you, especially if they relate to some of your other interests, such as music or books in other languages. This is a really good way to take a few minutes every day to work towards your goal, without it even seeming like work. The third tip is to focus on understanding a specific TV show or movie. Try to watch a movie in your target language without any subtitles, or try to understand your favorite TV show that's in your target language. If you don't already have a goal like this, it can be a fun way to practice. If your friends often talk about a particular TV show, it could be a good way to study, and a fun way to keep your motivation up together. Plus, TV shows and movies often use the language in a way that's vastly different from the conversations provided in traditional textbooks, so you often get to hear different vocabulary choices. It's a very powerful way to learn a language and end up sounding more like a native speaker. Tip number 4 is to enroll in a regular language course. Register for something you have to go to or you have to participate in regularly, meaning every week or 2 times a week or maybe even every day. The point of this is it's something that gives you a pattern to follow. Forming a study habit will help you progress very quickly. It will make it easier for you to achieve your language learning goals. Once you form the habit, you won't even have to think about starting each time. It'll just be natural. Have something that you must take responsibility for. You'll be more motivated to continue if there are others, especially classmates or a teacher, watching you progress. Look for resources inside your community, and if there are no opportunities there, look for things digitally. You can find many of our videos on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course, our entire video and audio lesson library on our website. The lessons on our website also come with assignment courses, so you can test your knowledge. The last tip is to make your goal public. Share your goal. Tell people about your goal. For example, if you want to give a business presentation in your target language this year, then tell your colleagues or your boss about it. Some people may find what you're doing interesting, and they can support you. This kind of pressure can help push people forward who have trouble motivating themselves alone. By telling others about your goal, you'll feel more accountable. Because you told somebody that you were planning on doing something, there's an underlying sense of guilt if you don't accomplish the task. You may feel that you have failed your peers in some way, even if there's no direct pressure from them. Using this technique, you can push yourself into moving forward toward your goal, especially at times when you feel the least motivated. And that brings us to the end of our 5 tips to stop wasting time and start learning a language. We've talked a lot about how to set goals for yourself and think about new challenges. First, I told you about creating SMART goals. Remember, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Registering for a test is a great example of a SMART goal. Next, we talked about keeping a diary or social media account in your target language. Start doing it right now, even if you're still a beginner. Then, I suggested that you focus on understanding a specific TV show or movie. Pick something in your target language that you really love, because you may need to watch it over and over again until it all makes sense to you. And next, we talked about enrolling in a regular language course. This will give you something concrete that you must take responsibility for. Finally, make your goal public. Tell someone about your learning goals to keep you accountable for them. You're much less likely to abandon your studies if you have friends asking you about your progress. I hope that these are useful tips that you can use to reach your language learning goals. And before we go, let me remind you to download tons of free PDF lessons to learn the language the fast, fun, and easy way. Just click the link in the description. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with anyone who may find it useful. Do you have any good tips that you've used to help you reach your goals? Share them in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.
Are there any annual charges with this account?
Liittyykö tähän tiliin mitään vuosittaisia maksuja? Liittyykö tähän tiliin mitään vuosittaisia maksuja?
I'd like to open an account.
Haluaisin avata tilin. Haluaisin avata tilin.
Can I have a receipt, please?
Saisinko kuitin, kiitos? Saisinko kuitin, kiitos?
Can I have a bag, please?
Saisinko kassin, kiitos? Saisinko kassin, kiitos?
I'll take one of this.
Otan yhden näitä. Otan yhden näitä.
What's this?
Mikä tämä on? Mikä tämä on?
Do you have any identification?
Onko sinulla mitään henkilötodistusta? Onko sinulla mitään henkilötodistusta?
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
Tänä viikonloppuna menen elokuviin. Tänä viikonloppuna menen elokuviin.
What are you doing this weekend?
Mitä sinä teet tänä viikonloppuna? Mitä sinä teet tänä viikonloppuna?
I'll have time next week.
Minulla on aikaa ensi viikolla. Minulla on aikaa ensi viikolla.
I'm busy this week.
Olen kiireinen tällä viikolla. Olen kiireinen tällä viikolla.
It's only Tuesday.
On vasta tiistai. On vasta tiistai.
Today is Wednesday.
Tänään on keskiviikko. Tänään on keskiviikko.
Monday is the worst day of the week.
Maanantai on viikon huonoin päivä. Maanantai on viikon huonoin päivä.
It's already Sunday.
On jo sunnuntai. On jo sunnuntai.
The day after tomorrow is Friday.
Ylihuomenna on perjantai. Ylihuomenna on perjantai.
What day is it today?
Mikä päivä tänään on? Mikä päivä tänään on?
It ends in 30 minutes.
Se päättyy 30 minuutissa. Se päättyy 30 minuutissa.
She'll be here by 7 p.m.
Hän on täällä kello 19 mennessä. Hän on täällä kello 19 mennessä.
The flight will arrive at 8:45 p.m.
Lento saapuu kello 20:45. Lento saapuu kello 20:45.
It looks like it will take about 30 more minutes to get there.
Näyttää siltä, että perille pääsyyn menee vielä 30 minuuttia. Näyttää siltä, että perille pääsyyn menee vielä 30 minuuttia.
We'll arrive 30 minutes early.
Saavumme 30 minuuttia etuajassa. Saavumme 30 minuuttia etuajassa.
He's leaving now.
Hän lähtee nyt. Hän lähtee nyt.
Let's leave in 20 minutes.
Lähdetään 20 minuutin kuluttua. Lähdetään 20 minuutin kuluttua.
Can we leave around 6?
Voimmeko lähteä kello 6 maissa? Voimmeko lähteä kello 6 maissa?
Be here before noon.
Olet täällä ennen keskipäivää. Olet täällä ennen keskipäivää.
It's almost dusk.
Hämärtää melkein. Hämärtää melkein.
It's midnight.
On keskiyö. On keskiyö.
It's noon.
On keskipäivä. On keskipäivä.
It's 3 o'clock.
Kello on 3. Kello on 3.
What is a good time for you?
Mikä aika sopisi sinulle? Mikä aika sopisi sinulle?
I have no money.
Minulla ei ole rahaa. Minulla ei ole rahaa.
Leave me alone.
Jätä minut rauhaan. Jätä minut rauhaan.
I want to go here.
Haluan mennä tänne. Haluan mennä tänne.
I'm looking for this place.
Etsin tätä paikkaa. Etsin tätä paikkaa.
What did they look like?
Miltä he näyttivät? Miltä he näyttivät?
She was wearing a red shirt and jeans.
Hänellä oli punainen paita ja farkut. Hänellä oli punainen paita ja farkut.
This area is dangerous.
Tämä on vaarallinen alue. Tämä on vaarallinen alue.
It's across the street from a library.
Se on tien toisella puolella kirjastoa vastapäätä. Se on tien toisella puolella kirjastoa vastapäätä.
Do you speak English?
Puhutteko englantia? Puhutteko englantia?
Can I make a call?
Voinko soittaa puhelun? Voinko soittaa puhelun?
How can we fix this?
Kuinka voimme korjata tämän? Kuinka voimme korjata tämän?
There's been a misunderstanding.
On tapahtunut väärinkäsitys. On tapahtunut väärinkäsitys.
It wasn't me.
En se ollut minä. En se ollut minä.
Where are you?
Missä sinä olet? Missä sinä olet?
There was a car accident.
Sattui auto-onnettomuus. Sattui auto-onnettomuus.
They took my phone.
He ottivat puhelimeni. He ottivat puhelimeni.
It was in my bag.
Se oli laukussani. Se oli laukussani.
She lost her key.
Hän hukkasi avaimensa. Hän hukkasi avaimensa.
Want to speak real Finnish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at finishpod101.com. I'm sorry.
Olen pahoillani. Olen pahoillani.
Don't worry.
Älä huolehdi. Älä huolehdi.
It's okay.
Se on ok. Se on ok.
Please forgive me.
Anna minulle anteeksi. Anna minulle anteeksi.
I really appreciate it.
Arvostan sitä todella. Arvostan sitä todella.
Thank you.
Kiitos. Kiitos.
You're welcome.
Ole hyvä. Ole hyvä.
Make yourself at home.
Ole kuin kotonasi. Ole kuin kotonasi.
Hello.
Hei. Hei.
Good morning.
Hyvää huomenta. Hyvää huomenta.
Goodbye.
Hyvästi. Hyvästi.
Long time no see.
Pitkästä aikaa. Pitkästä aikaa.
Good evening.
Hyvää iltaa. Hyvää iltaa.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Pahoittelut, että jouduit odottamaan. Pahoittelut, että jouduit odottamaan.
Wait a moment.
Odota hetki, kiitos. Odota hetki, kiitos.
Hello?
Haloo. Haloo.
Awesome.
Mahtavaa. Mahtavaa.
Delicious.
Herkullista. Herkullista.
I like it.
Pidän siitä. Pidän siitä.
I don't like it.
En pidä siitä. En pidä siitä.
How are you?
Miten voit? Miten voit?
Please?
Kiitos. Kiitos.
Really?
Ihanko totta? Ihanko totta?
Help.
Apua. Apua.
What is it?
Mikä se on? Mikä se on?
Where are you from?
Mistä sinä olet kotoisin? Mistä sinä olet kotoisin?
How old are you?
Kuinka vanha sinä olet? Kuinka vanha sinä olet?
What's your phone number?
Mikä on sinun puhelinnumerosi? Mikä on sinun puhelinnumerosi?
What time is it?
Mitä kello on? Mitä kello on?
This is for you.
Tämä on sinulle. Tämä on sinulle.
I'm good.
Hyvää. Hyvää.
How have you been?
Miten voit? Miten voit?
Nice to meet you.
Hauska tutustua. Hauska tutustua.
It's difficult.
Se on vaikeaa. Se on vaikeaa.
Once again, please.
Vielä kerran kiitos. Vielä kerran kiitos.
I don't understand.
En ymmärrä. En ymmärrä.
Slower, please.
Hitaammin kiitos. Hitaammin kiitos.
Can you come back later?
Voitko tulla takaisin myöhemmin? Voitko tulla takaisin myöhemmin?
Ready to start?
Oletko valmis aloittamaan? Oletko valmis aloittamaan?
Sorry, we're completely booked.
Valitettavasti meillä on täyttä. Valitettavasti meillä on täyttä.
We'll give you a call.
Me soitamme sinulle. Me soitamme sinulle.
I'll leave it up to you.
Voit päättää itse. Voit päättää itse.
Is the water too cold?
Onko vesi liian kylmää? Onko vesi liian kylmää?
Is this your first time with us?
Onko tämä ensimmäinen kertasi meillä? Onko tämä ensimmäinen kertasi meillä?
It takes 3 to 5 business days.
Siihen menee 3–5 työpäivää. Siihen menee 3–5 työpäivää.
Could I have a statement, please?
Saisinko tiliotteen, kiitos? Saisinko tiliotteen, kiitos?
I'd like to exchange money.
Haluaisin vaihtaa rahaa. Haluaisin vaihtaa rahaa.
I'd like to make a withdrawal.
Haluaisin nostaa rahaa. Haluaisin nostaa rahaa.
I'd like to make a deposit.
Haluaisin varata ajan hiustenleikkuuta varten. Haluaisin varata ajan hiustenleikkuuta varten.
Sign here, please.
Allekirjoita tähän, kiitos. Allekirjoita tähän, kiitos.
Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow, and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools.